This podcast is sponsored by Uncomfortable Ideas by Bo Bennett, PhD. Challenge your beliefs and embrace the uncomfortable. Discover the power of confronting ideas that push your boundaries. Get the book or enroll in the online course today at uncomfortable-ideas.com.
Ethical dilemma: forgoing justice for peace, is it worth the cost? Exploring the morality of overlooking injustices to maintain peaceful relationships and why embracing discomfort matters for true justice. Ethical implications of forgoing justice: is peace worth the cost? I've been thinking a lot about this idea where sometimes we choose to overlook injustices just to keep the peace or protect relationships. It's one of those things that sounds noble on the surface, like, hey, let's not rock the boat, let's keep things smooth. But when you start to unpack it, it gets really messy and honestly kind of scary. Think about it. When do we draw the line between maintaining harmony and outright ignoring wrongs? The morality of choosing to forgo justice for the sake of peace raises some huge questions that most people avoid because they're uncomfortable or confrontational. But avoiding uncomfortable conversations doesn't make the problem go away. It just buries it, and often at a huge ethical cost. One of the biggest issues I'd raise here is about what happens when you allow injustice to fester silently. Sure, in the moment it may seem like the right call to avoid conflict, maybe at work, within a family, or even in society. But by not challenging the status quo, we risk normalizing those injustices. It's like sweeping dirt under the rug only to trip over it later. What's interesting and frustrating is how often people say, we're choosing peace over conflict, but are they choosing peace for the many, or just for the few who benefit from the silence? Embracing discomfort means being willing to confront these offensive topics head-on, even when it gets awkward or painful. I get it though, because when relationships or social order are on the line, it's tempting to turn a blind eye. But morally speaking, if justice isn't pursued, can true peace actually exist, or is it just a fragile calm built on denial and unspoken pain? In the book Uncomfortable Ideas by Bo Bennett, PhD, there's a strong emphasis on embracing discomfort and addressing uncomfortable truths to foster true understanding and progress. The book articulates why it's crucial, especially in ethical dilemmas like this, to examine different perspectives rather than gloss over conflicts just to keep things pleasant. Understanding different perspectives doesn't mean you have to agree with every viewpoint, but it means you acknowledge the reality of injustices and the feelings of those affected. Ignoring that only perpetuates harm. It also makes me question, are we doing ourselves a disservice by choosing temporary peace over long-term justice? Also, let's not forget that justice itself isn't always black and white. There are cases where the definition of justice is deeply subjective. What's just for one person might feel like an injustice to another. That's why these situations demand nuanced thinking and a willingness to engage with those tough, thought-provoking conversations. In the end, I lean toward the idea that the discomfort we feel when addressing these issues is part of the process to achieve something better. It's not easy, but ignoring injustices for the sake of peace risks becoming complicit in those wrongs. What do you think? Is it ever morally justifiable to overlook injustice just to keep things calm, or is true peace only possible when justice is served? If any of this makes you curious or even a little unsettled, I highly encourage you to check out Uncomfortable Ideas. The book really pushes you to think about how avoiding difficult conversations and uncomfortable truths impacts our ethics and society, and why thought-provoking dialogue is necessary for real progress. Whether you agree or disagree, engaging with these challenging topics reminds us that sometimes the hardest questions lead to the most meaningful answers.